Hey guys, Anfield here. Welcome to my video on the Arty Sandbox changes. Leading up to testing the changes myself, I was apprehensive about what we might expect. I was critical of the changes made on the sandbox regarding Wargaming's approach to improving heavy tanks, and was worried that the artillery changes may well be something that I would strongly disagree with as well. As you guys know, I'm no fan of artillery, and I've been waiting for a long time for a fairer system, and I was kind of worried because without outright removal, which was never really on the table for Wargaming, I struggled to see how it could be balanced. And while it kind of shocks me to say, Wargaming did a damn good job. So why such high praise? You could chalk it up to the fact that it could hardly get any worse, but the changes do more than just patch up the mechanic a little bit. The arguably most frustrating aspect, when artillery one-shots you, is a thing of the past, as they're strictly limited to lower pen and alpha in regards to only HE shots. The AP and heat shells have been removed. The occasional 1200 or so may be possible as a full pen against the absolute thinnest armor, but they will be a rarity and certainly not a one-shot. Instead, artillery will leave you with a sort of dazed crew that will make your tank less effective for a short while, but the so-called stun effect is not nearly as punishing as many were led to believe. In fact, with their reusable consumables, such as the reusable medkits, you can remove the stun effect for a 60 to 90 second cooldown depending on whether you have a small or large medkit. And artillery aside, this is quite a big improvement because the reusable consumables will mean that a lot of tanks that used to suffer from consistent ammo racks, fires, and all sorts of other things like that will now have a much easier time because you can continually use them, such as, for example, the Object 907 gets ammo racked all the time, so it's not so punishing for those players, which is it's nice because that's more removal of RNG that could affect your battle. You know, you never know where you're going to get ammo racked, how often you're going to be ammo racked, etc. So it's a nice little step back away from RNG, and it does help a lot with that sort of thing. But regardless, the days of cowering from artillery for fear of the one-shot are over, but it's still a class you will have to keep in consideration when you're playing. Their role on the battlefield becomes less of an RNG slot machine that can send you back to the garage with one shot from the back of the map into more of an opener for their teammates. They can create openings for their team by stunning a group of enemies so that their allies can push. This I feel will be sort of especially prevalent with clan wars and other organized play. So for those of you that do play Arty,
shame,
that may be up in arms about your beloved class, I would recommend you take some time to understand the changes, especially if you can't play on the sandbox. You will have less RNG to ruin your battle, as well as your poor Unicum victim. You have a greater splash, more accuracy, a version of battle assistant, a more useful way to support your teammates, and overall a much more rewarding system. So, for those of us that obviously hate artillery, it's not outright removal, but as that was never really an option on the table for Wargaming, I'm happy with the changes to artillery. I'm sure with some tuning we could get something that most reasonable people can be happy with. But if you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask me in the comments section. And if you're interested in more videos on this, I can try and make more as a follow-up with more footage from battles. It's quite difficult to actually play artillery on the test server because everyone is trying to test it, so the matchmaker is a little skewed. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I mean, you know, I read some of the comments in Wargaming's video on this of people that clearly haven't played it on the Sandbox server, and, you know, I hope that I can at least bring some sort of a positive voice, and I'm happy to be able to do that. You know, it's so nice to have something that has affected us for so long and have it be changed into something much more positive. So yeah, I look forward to reading your guys' feedback to let me know what you guys think. You know, what would you change? You know, are you happy with the changes? Have you played on the sandbox and that sort of thing? Let me know, and I'll catch you on the next video.